One way you know you might be gay is if when your boyfriend starts nuzzling on you and gyrating on you and kissing on you, you start thinking about your best friend. And one way you know you might really be gay is if you start talking to him about her in that moment. Isn't Mandy like the funniest person you know? And she totally calls out the popularity contest. She's like the court jester of our high school. Nate slips his hand beneath my shirt onto my low back. Uh-huh, he says, and pulls me closer and begins kissing me on the neck. And I say, and her eyes are like amber, right? But when she looks into the sun, they have these honey-colored speckles. Are you in love with Mandy or something? What? What? No? Well, then stop talking about her so much. And he lifts himself on top of me, and I am off in the depths, following her, wondering and wandering after her. I skip to catch up with her, walk into her world. Just the thought of her inhabits me like a warm, dark cavern. A crumpled paper ball is headed my way through the hall. Nice catch, Mandy says. Oh my God, brownies, she breathed at the home ec room. This note will self-destruct in, don't read it now, it defeats the purpose of a note. Am I driving you home? Oh, 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 you don't have to go. Oh, 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 you don't have to go. Oh, 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 baby, please don't go. When I read the letter you wrote me, made me mad. Did you know Zimmer's a debutante this year? I did. What does that even mean? It means it's when you get presented into society, you come out and bow in a white poofy princess dress. That's it. You bow to a cake that's a stand-in for a queen. What queen? Of England. What? That makes no sense. What? I don't know, I guess it originated in England. It's for royalty and rich people to show off their daughters as eligible for marriage. How come we didn't get invited to be debutantes? Were we not popular enough? Are we popular? I'll see you tomorrow. You better read that note fast. I don't care that I wasn't invited to be a debutante. Stupid, dumb. I don't care. I don't want to wear a stupid poofy princess dress. I'm not 5. I don't need to do the waltz in a princess dress. Dumb. Come out in a white dress, white gloves, white pearls. Boring. Dumb. Bow to a cake that's a stand-in for the queen? I don't want to bow to a cake or a queen. I don't care. Okay, I'm lying. I do care. I do want to be a princess. I want to be a princess. I do. I want to wear a pretty princess debutante gown. I love that word, gown. I love everything about gown. A dress with an open back, maybe like Cinderella's dress that the little birds and mice made for her. They flitted about and gathered any fabrics and beads they could find, and they stitched them together. And they even brought her pearls. I want the little birds to bring me pearls. To come out, to be the brightest one in the room. I want to I want to have all the French characters whisper and exclaim something en français when I enter the room. I'll bow to the queen. I want to bow to the queen. Sure, I'll bow to the queen. But I would want the little birds to make me a dress made of all the colors. Sparkly pink and blue, purple, yellow, green, red, orange. Who doesn't want to be a princess? When a princess wakes up, the whole town wakes up. All right, boys, now she's gonna open up those baby blues and we'll really strike oil. All right, now cut. Now listen here, dollface. Next time the prince kisses you, you wake up, got it? Oh, is that what that was? Why, that was a kiss to make headlines. Oh, sorry. I guess I just didn't feel, well, you better feel something, and quick. Well, I did feel something. I felt a little boost, a little buzz, a little sparkle, but aren't I supposed to feel something like more? Perhaps that's what you'd like to believe, but in the end, I believe every woman is betrayed by her own emotions. Oh, yeah. Wait, what? Now look, you said I was to do the thinking for the both of us. I did. And I've been thinking, if that horse leaves and you're not on it, why, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life. All right, boys, let's do another take. Now look, I'm gonna give you another chance to invest and really strike oil. Okay, but the kiss, I mean, aren't I supposed to feel some kind of technicolor swirl? Some kind of phosphorescent cellular arousal? Isn't the castle supposed to fill up with a golden shine? Isn't the whole town supposed to wake up? Hello. Did someone call for a program update? Sorry, it took a moment to arrive. I had to run over to 2020, just back to back with so many horrible things. And worst of all, JoJo just told the whole world she was gay. Who's JoJo? Who are you? I'm the mom. You're not my mom. I know I'm not your mom. I am the mom, is what I said. But now that I think about it, that makes me your mom too. Why are you laughing all of the time? Because that's what it says to do in my script. And I suggest you do what it says to do in yours, which is to wake up when the prince kisses you. Okay. Great. Perfect. Okay, so here's how this goes. The prince kisses you and you wake up. It's very simple. It's just that simple. The prince kisses you and you wake up. The prince kisses you and you wake up. The prince kisses you and you wake up. Prince kiss, 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 wake up. I want a man. I want a man. I want a man and a dog and a house. I want a man and a dog and a house. And a dove bar. And a dove bar. Great. The Get a Guy Guide, the guide to getting a guy, the guy guide. What? Okay, the Get a Guy Guide, the guide to getting a guy, the guy guide. I think I got it. I just need some time to prepare on my own for this scene, just a little bit of time. In the costume closet? Don't worry, I have my method. You're not a method actor, are you? This could take years. That's funny. Years. I want a man. I want a man. I want a man, man. I want a man, man. I want a dog and a house and a man. I want a boyfriend. I want a husband. I want a man. I want a husband. So do you have a boyfriend? So do you have a boyfriend? So do you have a boyfriend? Boyfriend, boyfriend. So do you have a boyfriend? I want a man. I want a man, man. Where's your husband? Do you have a husband? So where's your husband? Are you here alone? Do you have a husband? Are you single? Are you married? Do you have a husband? Man, man. I want a man.
Years old, I find a part of my body I never knew existed. I had explored down there before and tried to think about mate. I want a man. But as I entered, my idea of what I would find down there vanished along with his face. It was a world, an entire universe. It was vast. And spiraling into this flower, folds inside folds, petals in petals, darkness envelops my finger. I push to one side and then the other. It was so soft, it almost wasn't there. It seemed to go on forever. It was like my finger penetrated a portal to some infinity of a consistency, most like deep sea, but also nothing like that. If the universe was everywhere out there, it was also folded up in the deep within me, the black, warm night of eternity. Now at 20, I felt a curious, yummy, gyrating momentum. Man, man, man. So I explored again. I came out of that eternity slowly, taking my time the way one leaves a wondrous soiree, the realization dawning on you as you gather your things to leave. Wow, that was a magical evening. You dawdle so you can bask in the golden and ruby minds and musings, and you check out the paintings on the wall as you pack up. You pick up your coat and look around, smiling as your fingers find the doorknob. And you take one last glance at a very interesting sculpture near the door, and whoa, what? Boom. I hit a pulse. And again, a locus, this bulb. I applied friction, flip, vroom, 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 boom. What the? 20 years old, and I did not know this part of my body existed. Every time I touch this bulb, it shoots waves of otherworldly pleasure in all directions, like as if there's some small star exploding again and again, but like in the ocean or something, and it pulsed bigger and bigger. I didn't think anything could get bigger than a small star exploding in the ocean, but it did, and it was still growing and going. And then I didn't think anything could get bigger, and then bigger, then a bigger star exploding, sending waves of ecstasy out and out and out in bigger and bigger waves. And all I knew to do was to keep doing what I was doing. Flip, 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 boom, 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 flick, 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 flick. Oh my God. Boom, boom, vroom, 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 flick, 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 fast faster, faster, faster. How was this happening? I want a man, flick, 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 fly, fly, fly. How in the, what, how is this pleasure getting even bigger? I want a man. There seemed to be no end to the levels of pulsing, quaking, ecstasy. And then it happened. Veins, nerves, universes bolting out, my sternum flying up through the ceiling into the sky and beyond, my head flung back, arching, gulping, new oxygen. I want a man, Mandy, Mandy, Mandy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meg. That was amazing. That was wonderful. I loved hearing that. Thank you. Now let's welcome our final performer for the night, Pearl Louise, with Tastes Like Chicken and Other Lies Vegetarians Tell Ya.
This journey began with the discovery of new food I found in my pantry. If you want to call it food. To me, these items were foreign. I looked at the package items one by one. What's this? There was a package of tiny seeds I thought were sunflower seeds. I love sunflower seeds. Wait a minute. Chickpeas? What are chickpeas? I know what black-eyed peas are, but chickpeas? But it goes further. There was produce placed in my fridge that was never there before. The produce was covered in fuzz. There were bins of berries and citrus and avocado. I hate avocado. That's why I don't like guacamole. Somebody in this house is loading up my refrigerator with this mess. My space in my shelf was getting smaller and smaller, while the new foreign food was getting bigger and bigger. WTF? And what kind of potato chips is this? And what is this gluten-free stuff? Does it taste good? Well, one day my daughter wanted to sit down and talk to me. There we were at the kitchen table, looking at each other, pausing. She wasn't saying anything, so I just threw up my hands. What? What's the matter? What do you want to talk about? Mom, I got something to tell you. She trailed off. You're pregnant. No, I'm not pregnant. You're sick. No, I'm not sick. Oh my God. You want to go into the military? Mom, I just want to let you know I'm going to be a vegetarian. Oh, that's great. Are you taking the right classes? I mean, to become a veterinarian? You know how we like animals. I thought you were majoring in communications. Now my daughter is going to be a Dr. Dolittle. How sweet, honey. Mom, a vegetarian, not a veterinarian. I fell back in my seat. She might as well told me she was going to be a Republican. A vegetarian? Wait a minute. A vegetarian? I had to say it twice. You mean you're going to start eating like Bugs Bunny? No, Mom. I'm going to start eating better. Like Bugs Bunny? No, Mom. You know it's not like eating like Bugs Bunny. We are a family. We need to start eating better, Mom. Get rid of saturated fats and empty calories, chemically processed food, including meat, Mom. Meat. What you talking about, Willis? Hold up now. You're speaking blasphemy. I raised you better, honey. Yes, Mom, you did. Better to think and to be a better person. Well, excuse me about the meat. That's when she jumped out her chair, chatting away, throwing open the cupboards and refrigerator, showing me her bounty of fresh foods. Then I started looking at the packaging. Whole Foods. Sprouts? When did she start getting Whole Foods and Sprouts money? Who the hell can afford to eat this? She started praising her food that I wouldn't feed to a squirrel. But I kept nodding and being quiet. I mean, she's a millennial, and you know how confused those kids are. Everything was fine listening to her until she started hating on my food that she forgot that I raised her on. She started rating my portion of the pantry like a summer camp counselor who raided my bunk and discovered all my candy. She took out what she called my sinful foods of bacon and pork chops and hamburger and tossed them on the countertop. Blunk, blunk, the frozen meat did. Then the frozen entrees like burritos and corn dogs and pizza. Then on the sodas, telling me, Mom, take a look. This is the devil's chemical banquet. Understand that. I listened to her sermon, and her mind was made up. She had been reborn into an all-American, judgmental vegetarian. Oh, my daughter was testifying. Hallelujah, amen. Jesus wept. But it tastes good, honey. You know, I just don't eat processed foods and meat. I do eat vegetables and fruits. But I hear what you're saying. I know, Mom. Oh, but as a matter of fact, can you leave the pork chops out? We're gonna have some smothered pork chops tomorrow. She rolled her eyes at me. What? I said I would think about it. You expect me to throw away all this good food? Do you know there's children in Africa starving? As a matter of fact, there are Africans in this kitchen about to starve if you don't let me make that smothered pork chops. She walked out the kitchen. That's when I was alone after listening to her sermon. Re-examined her food in the cupboard. Blah, blah, blah. The ingredients, the expiration dates. Oh man, she even got organic. Excuse me. But then I looked at my food and I did notice the long list of ingredients that I couldn't even pronounce. But that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. And a lot of the expiration date on my goodies would just say, best if used by, or guarantee fresh by, but it never tells you if you not throw it away. You know why? I'll tell you why. They know food is expensive. They're gonna let the consumers decide if that food is unedible. It's just like people when they hear about Twinkies that last for 20 years. I like Twinkies. You know, I was raised on Twinkies, which means when I'm 80 years old, God willing, I can still eat that 30-year-old Twinkie. I figured whatever is preserving that Twinkie will preserve my 80-year-old self. I can't believe this. My daughter is a vegetarian not a veterinarian. Weeks go by, then months. Damn, she's serious about this. This is worse than Scientology. You know, she got new vegetarian cookbooks and made meals, and it was hit and a lot of misses. One thing I learned, all these vegetarian fresh meals have to be prepared to be flavorful. I mean, just because it's beautiful with bright colors doesn't mean it tastes good. And the expiration of fresh fruits are just like that gone. Sometimes I would look in the refrigerator and see expensive fruits and vegetables on their last leg. The bell peppers would be spotty and rotted down and distorted like Jabba the Hutt. Mushrooms would be shriveled up and hard, looking like tumors. And what's with that plastic bag of greenish, soupy, sloppy, seepy mess? And the red tomatoes with a couple of spots on it, looking at me saying, "Save me, please put me on a sandwich, something. I can't go out like this." My daughter was proving my point. Who can keep fresh produce long enough? I understand her best intentions, really I do. Hey, speaking of sandwiches, how can vegetarians eat sandwiches without meat? That's like having sex and no orgasm. And you sit there, is that it? Is that all there is? For our meat lovers, it's the main ingredient. Sandwiches is named after the meat. The pastrami sandwich, the Philly cheesesteak, hamburger with cheese, the chicken burger, the taco fish sandwich, Subway with slices of different meats piled on buns and rolls, sliced bread. And what about traditional holidays? Without meat? No ham? No chicken? Listen here. No turkey? Are you serious? Let's start by talking about the turkey. Mr. Tom. So you first start going to the store and picking out the right turkey for the holiday. You see them, they're piled up in the open freezer. Not too big, but big. Now everybody has their own turkey cooking recipe. Gotta dress it up just right. Place it in the pan and shove it in that oven. And tenderly watch it as you baste it. After hours, it's perfect. The skin golden, the meat juicy. You see, when everybody yells from the kitchen, "The turkey is finished. I'm bringing it in, folks." And as you enter that room, like the prom queen, presenting the best of show, everybody's waiting. The turkey is sitting on with pride on grandma's 60-year-old turkey plates. Immediately, you begin to hear, ooh, ah, yummy. Someone pipes up, "Boy, that turkey looks good." And you blush over the fanfare. Your chest is filled with pride. And even though you look like shit from head to toe, slaving in that kitchen 4 hours, you begin to think it's worth it. That turkey is glowing, it's shining. The juice glistering on the brown skin. Can't you guys smell it? Just me talking about it. And then after that, turkey salmon for weeks. Here we go. Then think about it. Time passes by, and my daughter, I could just imagine the healthy vegetarian during the holidays. What, pray tell, is she going to bring to her family and her kids? A hot steaming plate piled up with avocados, kiwi, and bananas? All I can do is lean over the table and say, okay, grandkids, next holiday it's at my house. Here's the thing. Now listen closely to me. Never invite a vegetarian to a barbecue. They are useless. At least drinkers invite a non-drinker so they can take their drunk asses home at night. But a vegetarian, you look at them, it's like, did you bring some potato salad or something, you know? Hey, how about this? Do something. Why don't you just bring up the folding chairs out the basement or something? And vegetarians, please, please, tell me, what's with the fake meats? That makes no sense. Make it make sense to me. The veggie burgers, the fake hot dogs, the fake meatballs, the fake sandwich meats. Now my daughter tried to do the old okey doke on your girl here, Pearl. She brought home one day a plate out of the kitchen. Boy, it was steaming, it was hot. And boy, it looked tasty to me. I'm looking at the spaghetti and meatball. I took a big old fork and shoved it in my mouth. The sauce was great. The noodles were just right. Ew. The meat. Hey, this meat tastes different. It's like it's rotten or something. Did you check the package before you cooked it? Mom, it's vegetarian meatballs. Vegetarian meatballs? You trying to kill me or something? Or have me on the toilet all night? My daughter, how could you do this to me? Stop it, Mom. One day my daughter came to me, check this out, with a smile and her hand holding a popping piece of breaded finger food. Here, Mom, she came to me. You're gonna like this. It tastes just like chicken. I reared back and I looked at that finger food and at my daughter's smiling face. And all I could say was, that's racist. What? You heard me? That's racist. Just because I'm Black, you think I'm gonna automatically fall for that chicken shit piece of breaded finger food? Are you crazy? I guess you think Black folks would take any kind of chicken, any kind of way, huh? Hey, baby, does a slice of watermelon go with that too? With that chicken? How dare you? You think this is gonna get me? Fake chicken? No, ma'am. What's the matter with you vegetarians with your fake chickens and fake meatballs? Do you think alcoholics drink fake alcohol? My daughter just stood there looking at me. Then I can see her take that breaded finger, chicken wing, whatever, and she dropped it in her mouth. She chewed it. Then she downed it with some apple juice. And then she proceeded, looking at me, she proceeded to read me for filth. Mom, I'm not doing just for me, but for you too, Mom. Mom, I see how sick you are. She started to talk about all my illnesses that I have. I don't want you to die early like Grandma, Mom, because of the food you eat. Mom, you gotta understand, you are what you eat. Mom, you are what you eat. She went on and on, finishing with tears in her eyes, and she walked out. Now, you know, after you have been read for filth, you have to compose yourself and take it all in. It was clear to her mother about her decision. No more chicken, no more beef, no more pork, and no more fish. It's a wrap, Mama. My daughter and I was quiet around the kitchen for a few days. As a matter of fact, she didn't make any more vegetarian meals for me. She just made things just for her. If she only knew, if she could only understand where I was coming from. You know, I remember one time I was at the grocery store with my kids. They was very young men, very little. There, the clerk was ringing up the groceries. Ding, ding, ding. There, the clerk and all the essentials. And when she was finished, the total was more than the money I had. I took a deep breath and started handing back some of the items to bring down the cost. Ding, ding. Oh yeah, you could take that too. Yeah, take that too. The items were erased from the total as my little kids was trying to look over the counter, still not able to see what was holding back. And I was embarrassed, holding up that line. I mean, nobody likes to hold up the grocery line, and nobody wants to hold up the line. Unless you're one of those old ladies with the coupons and she don't care how long you gotta wait as she dig in her purse. I knew this was nothing new for the clerk at the checkout counter, but I looked and took it with embarrassment. And I took it deeply. I thought all eyes was on me. I could just imagine what the folks was thinking. Look at her, welfare queen. I bet she's using food stamps. Oh, no, they got the BET card now. Get a job, lady. Probably got more kids at home. My tax money paying for her and them crumb snatchers, still over my amount. How did this happen? I finally got to the meat package. It was a package of pork chops. At one time, my daughter loved pork chops. My kids loved it. I quietly sent that back too. The elimination of that package of pork chops brought my balance under. I keep remembering meat is expensive. All I can think was, no meat for dinner. The first time my children won't have a meal with meat. I know my kids don't care. You know, they don't really know. But I felt the lack of meat for dinner was like a failure to me as a mother. Well, out the door we went, food bought and bagged. And down the lot, almost filled with cars. And I pushed that meatless food cart with my kids. Hey, hey, I heard a child's voice. I stopped and I turned around. There was a child running towards me holding a bag, a little white kid. He got to me and handed me the plastic bag with the package of pork chops. My son looked in the bag, pork chops, pork chops. The kid said, my mom wanted me to give this to you. I looked up and seen a lady with a shopping cart full of groceries, waving at me. I waved back frantically, hi. And she knew by my body language, I was so grateful. A stranger. I told my son to run to her and say thank you. I watched my son and her child went to her. She bent down and hear my son say, thanks, thank you. She smiled and she waved back. A mother caring about another mother. And now my daughter is a vegetarian from a different generation. If she only really knew her family history, how hard it was to have meat placed on the table to eat. I grew up, if you didn't have meat, you wasn't no vegetarian. You was poor, point blank. She's one generation if she don't but know it. From farming and shooting and butchering and trapping to get meat on that table. I grew up, if it swam, walked, crawled, flew, climbed, it could be on that plate. I ate frogs and pigs and snails and pheasants and geese and chicken and gator, possums, coons, deer, goat, etc. Whatever you could grow on the farm, whatever you could hunt. And it would slide across my plates with some gravy. I had some cousins down south, where I'm from, who were so poor, my mother would tell me that their bellies would be filled with air in place of food. In America, the arrogance. What a difference a generation makes, huh? Thank you. Thanks.
Hey, thank you, Pearl. Hey, stick around. Stick
Oh,
around.
okay.
Hey, yeah. Let's see. I don't know. We were talking earlier about
Mhm.
since Meg is on East Coast time. Oh, you are still here with us,
Oh,
Meg.
that's great.
Let's bring you in. Let's see. Hey, Meg.
Hello.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. I'm David Harada. I'm the other half of the producing team here tonight, and I just thought we'd chat a little bit about your work. If anyone in the audience, either here in Zoom or on YouTube, has any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, and we'll pass them on. I wanted to ask you both, watching your work, about process and inspiration. So Meg, you have a serious theater and dance background, and then in rehearsal, I was really delighted to see you working with this effect of this poetic passage through this sort of red veil of desire, and this effect you had created for Zoom.
Yeah.
You know, so if you could talk a little bit about this piece and sort of your process in creating it, your perspective as a dancer, as obviously a wordsmith of you know, of some skill, and an actress. How does it all come together for the entire show, which we haven't gotten to see here, and where is the show going?
Thank you. I'll be, first of all, brava, Pearl. It's good to be on stage with you.
Same here, same here. I so enjoyed your performance. I so did. I'm looking so forward to seeing the whole show.
Same, yeah, thank you.
But you're in New York. Hopefully you come to the Bay Area. We'll see. Huh?
I wish I was in New York. I'm in, well, did I say that? Yeah, I think I did. I'm in Bloomington, Indiana.
Oh, okay.
It's also a lovely place, but
Yeah.
but I actually debuted Big Gay Debutante Ball in at the Queer Solo Fest in San Francisco in 2019, June of 2019. And from there, it's just kind of been in development. And it is going to Fringe festivals actually live this summer.
Great.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah. Indianapolis Fringe and Providence,
Awesome.
Rhode Island, and perhaps Rochester.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, I think I just decided to kind of sit and work more on the words and kind of use this production to find my way through the words. Sometimes the dance, once the dance, once I really get it practiced and polished, I'll start to bring in movement
Okay.
into the words. And probably when it's live on stage, I'll have that piece that was that you heard. I'll probably have it like low light, and I'll be dancing, moving during that part.
Okay, because it's neat. I did get a little bit of a chance to look at some of your online material, your website and the Facebook page, where you have been keeping up a stream of creativity on this despite shelter in place. And I saw, the dance is happening, and there's some very nice text, sort of blog type text-based posts, and it's nice to see you keeping the work alive in that way. And so it's great that you've got those fringes lined up. Providence is a great fringe, and Indy's huge.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So
Thanks.
Pearl, we've worked together here on Monday night a couple of times.
Yeah.
Sure yeah, and you have been quite the student of solo performance here at the Marsh. I mean, many times I've been sort of running what I call Zoom mission control here for the Marsh, and I look out in the audience, and there you are. And so you've been watching, you've been paying attention, and this piece is a bit of a departure from what I've heard you do. Is this on its way to becoming a larger piece? Is this a pure experiment, or a little bit of both? What could you tell us about it? And it's brand new. And thank you, by the way, for jumping in.
Yes.
We had a little bit of a scheduling shuffle, and you kindly jumped in to fill the spot with this very new piece. So tell us about it.
Well, it's about basically, after I started thinking about it and having a vegetarian in my home, under my roof, maybe I would ask her questions. Why? What is this? What's different from you than how I grew up? And I grew up serving you meat, But it went deeper than that. It's about the politics of food. How some communities don't have access to fresh produce or meat. and that sometimes your zip code dictates how you're going to eat in this world.
Yeah.
You know, and so I started going deeper, and everything that was shared was true. Me and her going back and forth and going back and forth, because, you know, sometimes when people want you to change, you feel like, you know, stop judging me, you know, am I that bad? And, you know, and the thing about it, I have more that I've written. The thing about it, she's right in a lot of things. And as I morph into this with her and seeing, I can't fight right. You know, a lot of the food that we do eat is poison for the most part. And yeah, so I thought I would write this, you know, there's 3 parts to it, but yeah.
Okay, it's really neat to see you branching out into this.
Yeah.
And you also have an upcoming performance in a few
Ooh,
months with
yes.
FIP. Could you tell the audience a little bit about FIP? And you have an upcoming performance at Piano Fight in Oakland. Am I remembering
Yes,
that
it's a
right?
piano fight. Yes, in Oakland. What it is that a symposium of people who have been formerly incarcerated, and they want to share their stories about incarceration, how this society is. There's, you know, and so people can see and hear from someone who's been there and done that. And how I wound up and with it is that I wanted to let them know that maybe the audience might be interested in listening to family members, those who are left behind, that and their loved one is in prison. And I've dealt with that. And so I reached out to the producers, which is Mark Kenwood and Rebecca Fisher and Wayne Harris.
Yeah.
And they said it was okay, that it was a different, a different point of view of the prison industry complex and how it affects children, because my kids were young when their father went to prison. And I've had, like my son went and my brother. So you know, how did this happen? How, you know, so I wanted to share that and let also the prisoners know what their family goes through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some of
Yeah.
the prisoners didn't, they reached out and said, I really didn't know how deep it went, because they have to focus on trying to survive in prison. So I
Right.
told them I can understand, but I'm sorry if I kept going on. But
Oh, no, 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 no.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's very much what your work. I mean, you get it. Just the importance of like
Yeah.
a quarter for a phone call. You know.
Oh, you remember that, huh?
Oh yeah, heck yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so and then so this makes me think, Meg. You know, this idea of reaching out with perhaps undertold stories
Yes.
and listening to your excerpt, Meg. I mean, honestly, I don't think the idea of the debutante ball has been like, that's a thing of fiction. You know, for me, and to hear you talk about it, and then also I dated a PK in high school.
Uh-huh.
So um but and then I was just talking with a friend who is a youth minister who reaches out to LGBTQ youth. And I was just wondering if you've, beyond the theatrical nature of your show, do you see it as an outreach kind of thing? There are so many audiences, I think, who would love to hear this.
Yes. Yeah, I do. I do see it as something that is helpful for people. One woman came up to me and just said, she said, I've been playing straight. She said, I've been faking straight.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And so things like that are what make me feel like, yeah, it can really help people. And I'm writing the book because of
Yeah.
COVID.
Oh, that's right.
I decided to put the whole story in a book, and I think that the book will really, I'm hoping will really reach people. And there's a comedy in it, and but there's real like
Yeah.
deep raw, you know. It talks a lot about what it's like to. I think allies can learn a lot from it too. But yeah, in general, I would like for it to be a show that can bring communities together, communities of queer people, and like ideally that people can put on big gay debutante balls, you know, in their town, and really just like dress up and be fancy and come out like we're meant to, like we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Meg,
That it.
oh,
No, please go ahead.
oh yeah, Meg, if I can say, I remember as I was growing up and in college, I remember a friend who wanted to come out, and what they said, that they felt like a prisoner in their truth,
Yeah.
that they just couldn't do it. You know, they couldn't. And so when I see uh, shows like yours, and I just love the title, Debutante. I love it. I just think, wow, what a awakening, you know, because they do live in their own, the fear, you know, just to come out, how much they would lose their faith. The first thing she said, I'm going to lose my mom and my dad if I do this. I'm a prisoner. And so, yeah, so we all have our own cells that we stay in, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
She said that, yeah. So, yeah.
That.
Thanks for sharing that. I'm glad when yeah.
Well, I'd like to thank you both for sharing
Yes.
your stories here.
Mhm.
What I'm doing right now is I know that for those of you in the audience, FIP will be performing actually sooner than I remembered at Piano Fight June 25th and June 26th. And you can get more information from Mark Kenward's works website. I've just thrown that in the chat to follow FIP and their work. And Meg, we've put your show link in the chat, and I encourage you all to check that out. And gosh darn, if you don't have a Facebook feed that actually I've enjoyed looking at.
Oh, thank you.
Not huge on social media, but no, that was fun. That was fun to look at. So I encourage you all to check that out as well. Also, the show will be available for viewing on our YouTube channel. So go to themarsh.org. There's a button for our YouTube channel. So anyone who wasn't able to be here, who you want to send to see this, send them to that. I'll have that up probably by end of day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then, so to sort of take us out of the evening, I'd just like to share a trailer for our upcoming show this weekend, Brian Copeland's Not a Genuine Black Man.
Yeah.
It was the longest running solo show in San Francisco history. It's quite a story. So I'll run that as we go out. But before we go, Meg, Pearl, thank you so much. Good luck with the work. Keep on rocking, both of you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Can we get the Zoom chat? Because I like to save it, or you know.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So I can send that to you. So I'm gonna open up this promo for everyone and just wish everyone good night and
yes.
Pearl
Good
and
night,
Meg,
everyone.
stay in
Thank
touch.
you, David. Thank you,
Yes.
Brianna.
Everyone, take care.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
At the Oakland-San Leandro border along what was then East 14th Street, it's now International Boulevard, there used to be a big archway that said, "Welcome to San Leandro, the friendly city." A San Leandro patrolman used to sit right inside the city limits. His job was to follow any black pedestrian, motorist, or cyclist who crossed the city limits, even little kids. San Leandro, California, in the liberal Bay Area. 6 years after the Summer of Love, a black doctor who moved to town was greeted with a shotgun blast through his front door. A black family had a cross burned on its lawn. The National Committee Against Discrimination in Housing called San Leandro a racist bastion of white supremacy. It was considered one of the most racist suburbs in America. CBS News did a story. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights held hearings. And then we moved to town.